everyone, welcome to the YouTube channel of New Life Theological Academy, which is situated in the town of Cochin, Kerala, India. I am Pastor Lyju Cherian, your instructor on Introduction to Systematic Theology. Welcome to the class. Today, we are going to look into some introductory lessons of systematic theology. Before I take the classes, I would like to introduce to you some of the reference books that we can use in course of our study. Or I would like to suggest to you to have one of these books so that you can read and understand better. And those books are great asset to you. So please see these books that are very useful for our studies. I would like to show you some of these books to you. These are this is the Moody Handbook of Theology. This is one of the best handbooks available for us to study systematic theology and various other areas of Christian doctrine in a very condensed form, and the book is very excellent in its format and presentation. And if you can afford one copy of it, I think that would be a great asset for you to have one of these books. And there are other books, other systematic theology books. One famous book is Wayne Grudem's Systematic Theology, and he has very big book, that blue color, and the other two books it's in the condensed form of systematic theology. And we have other great theologians who have written systematic theology or books on theology. Basic Theology of Charles Ryrie is another finest book that you can have. And Millard J. Erickson's Christian Theology is another great reference book. Then John M. Frame's Systematic Theology. And you can buy several other books in the market that can be useful for your studies. That is very good for you to have one. Now let us get into the question: what is actually theology? What do you mean by theology? You have heard about this term. You have heard about theologians. Do you know what is theology means? Many people think, theology is something that I can't understand. Something is beyond my head or brain and understanding. It is only, for the pastors, or it is only for, the people who are in the church ministry or in the mission field. Does it mean that way? What is actually theology? If you really understand the word theology, the word theology is derived from two Greek words. Okay, theology. The English word theology is derived from two Greek words. The first Greek word is theos. Theos means logos. Theos means God. And the second Greek word is logos, which means words. That means theos, logos. Theos means God. Logos means word. So theology comes from that particular Greek word theologos. That means words about God or the study of God. That's the simple meaning of theology. It's a discourse about God. It's the science about God. It is a study about God. So that is what theology simply means. That means if you are a theologian means, okay, if you say that you are a theologian, it simply means someone who study about God or God's word, someone who try to understand who God is. That is a simple meaning of what is theology. Look at this. What is theology? It comes from the word theos, which is Greek for God, and ology, which is from the Greek word logos, meaning word. So the two Greek word theos plus logos. That's what we find, theos plus logos. So most literally, then the word theology means word about God or the study of God. Now there is another interesting fact about the theology. When you talk about, when you talk in a secular arena, in a secular world, probably people, the more acceptable or more understandable term, or what we can say, the more attracted way of presenting your thoughts is not the word theology. Probably, I'm not saying theology is not the right word, but when you are in a secular world, when you are in a conversation with the people, you can present your idea. Instead of using the word theology, you can use the word worldview or philosophy. Okay, so you can say this is the worldview that I hold, or this is the philosophy of my understanding, or this is the philosophy of my life. This is what I do believe. This is the best word I would probably say, worldview. Okay, worldview. That is, how do you view things? How do you view the world? In fact, there is a branch of a science or study department. Exclusively, we teach about worldview. That's another thing. But here I am talking, when you present your theological understanding to the public, you can say, this is the worldview that I hold about God, about man, about the metaphysical world, the world beyond the physical realm. That is what a metaphysical. Meta means beyond, metaphysical, beyond the physical realm. So when you present anything about the other world or any other, non-physical or metaphysical thing, you can say this is the world view. This is the view that I hold. So what I was saying is, worldview and philosophy can be a secular word that you can use in the place of theological perspective. Now, again, you need to understand, worldview and philosophy is not replacing theology. It is just for you to present your ideas to the public. So that is how you have to understand. Now, let's look at some of the definitions of what or how people have defined theology. Okay, some of the famous definitions, simple definition, how theologians used or defined theology. Look at this. Defining theology. Millard J. Erickson. Hope you remember his name. Millard J. Erickson's Christian Theology. You remember the book? So he says, he defines theology as, in a simple term, the study or science of God. Then if you look at H. Strong, he says, the science of God and of the relations between God and the universe. So he sees how God is related to the universe. So everything is included in theology. God is related to everything. Therefore, everything that you study comes under that theology. That is how he says. I think that is true, right? In fact, when you talk about anything that is in the world, you always should ask a philosophical question: who is behind this? So then you finally will end up, you will reach into a creator, and that creator theologically we call God. Okay, we believe everything is created by God, and therefore whatever you learn in this world is connected to God also. So that is how A.H. Strong sees. If you study about God and how he is related to the universe and how it is related to each other, then you are actually studying theology. Okay. Then Augustine says rational discussion respecting the deity. Oh, he gives another way of, he looks theology in a different perspective. Rational discussion, it involves a reasoning. Your mind, your logic is involved in theology. You know, uh, if you study the history of universities, in fact, the concept of university or the institutions such as started to teach theology. Though now our universities, they don't teach theology or Bible, but when it was instituted in the Europe, theology was the main department, and students were admitted into theology only after several tests. Okay, only caliber students, only smart students were admitted to department of theology, and it took many years for them to complete. 7 to 11 years they had to go through a rigorous training, and I think that particular way of training is only now is kept through the centuries is Roman Catholics. They are priests. They go through 7 to 11 years of studies. Unfortunately, they don't study much of Bible, but they study a lot about philosophy and psychology, and very little of Bible. That's a problem with them. Otherwise, their that duration of the course on theological studies to become a priest, I would say that is recommended, and that is highly appreciable regarding the study. So what I am saying is that studying theology involves a lot of reasoning, a lot of thinking. You need to be logical because you are talking about God. You're studying about God. So it's a rational discussion. Even when you discuss about God with due respect to him, you're discussing. That is what Augustine said about theology. Then if you see Charles Ryrie's definition, he says thinking about God and expressing those thoughts in some way. You are thinking about God. You're thinking and expressing. So if you think you are thinking about God, that means you are a theologian. So you see, study of God, then study about the relationship between God and the universe, rational discussion, thinking about God, all all these involved in studying of theology. We have seen what is theology, and we found that theology simply means it's a study about God, science of God, discourse about God. It's words of God, learning of God. So who is a theologian then? I have already said anybody who is involved in the study of God and the related things about God are all theologians. So in a very general sense, if anybody have thought about God, discussed about God, or God related matters, like maybe like even about ourselves, like who am I, where am I coming from, what is the purpose of my life, why is there something instead of nothing, Okay, what is my life after death? All such questions. Okay, any questions that is related to our own life, any questions related to the universe, any questions related to other world or another world which we have not seen probably. If you have or anyone have think about such questions in a larger sense, they are actually becoming part of theological studies. So in that sense, anybody who thinks and discuss and study about such questions are all theology, and that is what I am telling you. So look at this one. See, anyone who has asked the ultimate questions of life: why am I here? What is life? What happens after death? What is the difference between right and wrong? Why is there something instead of nothing? These are all part of theological questions, worldview questions, philosophical questions. So in a sense, theology, philosophy, worldview are all connected because logic, reason, okay, everything is connected. That is why theology involves a lot of discussion and reasoning. Yeah, theology, you have to understand theological study does not belong only to the Christian community. Anybody, every religion has got a theologian. Hindus have got, Islam has theologians, Buddhism, every religion, major world religions have their own theologian. They develop theology. They talk about God. They discuss about God. So theology is not just the monopoly of Protestant people or the Christian community, but it belongs to all major religions. Anybody who discuss about God has got a theological background. That is what I am trying to communicate to you. Now, I told you who is a theologian. So you understood who is a theologian. But the problem with that kind of understanding is, or more of who is a theologian, what kind of theologian you are. That is very important. I told, every religion has theologian. Every religion has got theology. But what kind of theologian are you? You can be a good theologian. You can also be a bad theologian. What is it? Now that is a little bit, there is a little bit of presupposition from our side. We say that way, okay? It is from our perspective, we do say good theologian and bad theologian. From our side, we say there are good theologians and bad theology. You will understand more of it as we study further about the systematic theology. Look at this. Look at this unknown source in which it says the question is not who is a theologian, but what kind of theologian am I going to be? Are you going to be a good theologian or bad theologian? This is a more accurate question because, as one writer put it, not all theologies are equal. Yeah, not all theologies are equal. I told all religions have got theology and theologians, but our theology and the theology of Muslims and Hindus and Buddhism are not equal. Totally different. Our understanding about God, our understanding about life after death, our understanding about man, anthropology, our understanding about the sin, our understanding about the angel, it differs from all other religion. We may have some kind of, some relationships or, the sameness you may find, but not equal. We are not talking about that God, or we are not talking about any God that you or we find in any other religion, we have an exclusive understanding about God from the sources that we consider reliable. Now, I would like you to notice into the main definition of what is systematic theology. What is systematic theology? That's what our class, right? Systematic theology. Okay, look at this definition of systematic theology. Definition of systematic theology. What is systematic theology? We have already found what is actually theology. Theology means it's a discourse about God. Now, the word systematic comes from the Greek word sunistano. Okay, can you say with me? Sunistano. Try to say that. Sunistano. The word is systematic. You are familiar with that particular word, systematic. Okay, systematic comes from the Greek verb sunistano, which means to stand together or to organize. Hence, that means, therefore, or so, systematic theology emphasizes the systematization of theology. That means theology is all about God, discourse about God, word about God, science about God. So you are studying about God and you put that study together, or you put it, you organize that study. That's a simple idea. So systematic theology means you are presenting, or you are presenting or defending your understanding about God, your collection, your knowledge about God systematically. So whatever you want to say, you are saying systematically. So systematic theology, you are presenting your findings about God systematically. So you're talking about God systematically. Now you see, Louis Perry Schaeffer provides a suitable definition of systematic theology, and you need to learn this definition, which is very important. Louis Perry Schaeffer is he was a faculty member of Dallas Theological Seminary, which is one of the reputed theological seminaries in US. So he says, he has given a very good definition for systematic theology. Read with me systematic theology. What is actually systematic theology? Okay, let's read. Systematic theology may be defined as the collecting, scientifically arranging, comparing, exhibiting, and defending of all facts from any and every source concerning God and his works. And you see, I have colored all that important terms. Systematic theology may be defined as, number one, the first thing is you're collecting all the informations, all the data, all the facts about God, okay, about God and his works. From where are you collecting? From any and every source. So you're collecting all facts from any and every source concerning God and his work. Okay. Then after collecting, what do? The first job that you have to do is collecting from everywhere. What does Hinduism says? What does Muslim says? What does Christian say? And Jew says, any religion. What do they talk about God? Then what do? You're scientifically arranging. You arrange it according to each religion, or under each religion, how they understand God and his works. Systematically arranging. Then what you will do? You will compare. Okay, what does Christian says about this particular subject, or about God, about sin, about heaven, about hell? You will compare all, you are asking question. Let's say you want to study about heaven or life after death. Let's say that's the important question we found. Okay, so after asking that question, you will ask that question to you will ask that question to you will ask that question to Muslim. So Muslims say this is our understanding about life after death. So you write down that one. Okay, then you talk to a Hindu and you are asking, okay, what is your understanding about life after death? Then the Hindu says what is their understanding. Then you meet another religious person, let's say a Jew, and the Jew explains about what is their understanding about God. And you meet with all the people who hold their worldview or their understanding about life after death. Now you have a table. Now you collected. Okay, now you have systematically arranged. Okay, systematically arranging. Then after that you are comparing. Oh, okay, now you will compare this religion with this religion and this religion with this religion. Then you will understand what do they talk about life after death. So you may find some sameness, or the similarities in all these religions. Let's say everyone believes life after death. Every religion, let's say Hindus also believing, Christian also believing, Muslims also believing, and Jewish religion also, or Jews also believing life after death. That means there is life after death. Now, can we stop our question there? Can we stop our probing? Can we stop our research there? Oh, everybody believe in life after death. No, you and I cannot stop questioning there. Okay, what kind of life you will have after death? Again, you will ask that question to all religious community. Then they'll say, okay, one says your life after death, you will become another animal, or another being, or another species. Okay, that is one understanding. Then you will ask another religion. They say life after the death you will become spirits. Okay, let's say that is what other religions say. Then you ask Christians, what do we believe? Oh, we believe there is a resurrection of the body. The same body you will have, but it is going to be a glorified body after resurrection, and you are going to be in a perfect place with God. Now you see that life after death, religious understanding, or various religions, though they believe in life after death, each one of them are believing differently. That is called comparing. Okay, then comparing. Then as a researcher, as a theologian, as you are going to be a good theologian, what you will do? You will exhibit it. Okay, you will come to some point of conclusion. You will personally hold on to one of these. You cannot believe everything. You cannot you have to believe either one of these. You cannot have a mixture of it, because then you will have a lot of contradictions. Okay, I hope you are able to understand what I'm talking. Am I talking something that you don't understand? If you have questions, you feel free to text me in my number. Then we will have more discussion on that one. Okay, or you can give your comments down there. If you have a questions, anything, you can comment down in the comment box. All right. So then after exhibiting, what you will do? You will defend. Okay, let's say I'm a Christian theologian. I may have some understanding about all other religious faith, but I will have a more understanding of Christian faith. So what I will do? I will defend my faith. I will defend my perspective. I will defend my view. That's called world view, theological view about whatever I am studying. So systematic theology is as simple as this. Okay, first you will collect, then you will arrange it, then you will compare it, then you will exhibit it, and you will defend it. So how many things are involved in this one? Collecting, scientifically arranging, comparing, exhibiting, defending. 5 things are involved. What are the 5? Say with me. What are the 5 things? Okay. Collecting, then scientifically arranging, then comparing, then exhibiting, and defending. Can you say it again? Can you say it again without looking at your note? Okay. Collecting, scientifically arranging, comparing, exhibiting, and defending. One more time. Collecting, scientifically arranging, comparing, exhibiting, and defending. Very good. Okay, this is what you are doing. So this is what you do, and you do it. You collect all the facts, Okay, from where? From any and every source. Now, is it possible? May not be possible. Okay, so but try to accumulate, try to collect as much as data available for you. Praise God. We are living in a 21st century where we have, people have done massive work on theology. They have done excellent job, excellent researchers, and they have come up with a lot of books and findings, and books like this. Hope you're able to see this. I have shown you John M. Frame's Systematic Theology and Introduction to Christian Belief. This is an excellent book that you can have. These are all my personal books that you will find. More books are there in the Bible College library. And I have several of the systematic theology books. This is Wayne Grudem's, and this is Moody Handbook of Theology. This is Faith Once for All. I did not mention this. This is another excellent book written by Jack Potter. Okay, and this is here, Introduction to Christian Doctrine by Lyju Cherian, and several other books are also here related to theology. Okay, theological books, and we have a few other Lyju Cherian books are also available. Bigger one is there in the library. So people have done great, excellent work. Now, what is our responsibility? Our responsibility is to just take all these books and study, understand, systematically study. So today I would like to end my class here today. What we have learned is just got familiar with some important theological reference books that would help you to look into it a more detailed way. Then we found what is actually theology, the definition of theology. Then we found who is a theologian. Then finally, we looked into what is the definition of systematic theology. I think that is enough for us today. Please continue to go back and listen to the areas that you did not understand. If you have questions, comment on the comment box there and ask me. And systematically studying this subject will give you a right understanding of theology, and I'm here to help you. I want every one of you to be equipped, and you all need to become good theologians in your church, in your community. And studying about God will reflect, will change, will studying about God will be reflected in our life. Okay, it will be reflected. Our life will be transformed. Our community will be transformed. Our family life will be transformed. Our church life will be transformed. So theology is not against faith. Studying theology does not mean that we become arrogant. I have not heard any teacher telling that after studying theology, you will have a big head and you will have pride. In fact, the more or the right way of understanding of God, or the better way you study God, the more you study about God, and if you study in a right way, or if you have a right understanding of God, we will have a very humble life, a transformed life. Theology is not to uh, make us puffed up, not to become proud, but to become simple. God, who is being omniscient, who does not lack any knowledge, he humbled himself and came down. Okay, that is the God whom we serve. So let us continue to study theology. Let's continue to seek God, be closer to God, and learn from Him. And He has given tremendous resources to study about Him. Looking at the Scripture, looking at the universe, we can learn a lot about Him. So studying theology is a very superior thing, because we are studying of the Creator, not the creature. Okay, we are studying about the Creator. So it's a great thing to study about God. So let's be glad and join our hands together. Though I am teaching you, I am continuing in my studies of God's word. I'm still a student of theology. So I want you to put your all effort and your discipline, your interest into this subject, and read, buy any one of these systematic theology books. uh, have some money, keep some money, okay, and buy one of these books. I would recommend you buy Moody Handbook of Theology. That is one of the best resources that you can have. So thank you so much for attending the first class. God bless you, and we'll look into more of systematic theology in the coming days. Thank you so much for attending. Have a good day. God bless you.